Women all over the world have always remained a minority when it comes to representation in the technology space, which has always remained male-dominated. Welcome to She Runs It Meetups. My name is Dumoluhle. Today we're joined by Thando Gwinji, the Managing Director of Youth for Innovation Trust. Welcome, Thando.
Thank you for having me.
Could you briefly tell us who Thando is and the work that you're doing in the technology space?
Okay, Thando is a sister, a mentor, a teacher, a digital media specialist. I'm also a peace and development practitioner and a human rights activist. But most importantly, in the digital or technological space, I'm actually a trainer. So I train young people and young women in different digital skills that are necessary for them to find their footing in the 21st century.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
So, having been in the industry for 7 good years, could you briefly explain to our viewers what we mean by the technology space?
Well, the technology/digital space is a very wide space. It's very vast. It's concerned with a lot of things that are concerned about innovation and actually thinking out of the blue and making something out of what you have within your hands. So I've actually been through a lot of different kinds of skill sets or trainings or exposures to different spaces within the tech space. In my previous experience as a tech woman, I'm a tech woman, one of the trustees of Tech Women Zimbabwe. So back then when I was there, we were just simply looking at the simple basic digital skills that we might have as a people. Digital skills like how do I actually use my phone for my benefit, for the benefit of the other people that I'm actually communicating with. So it can also be for communication, but it also helps you to be effective as an individual, to organize yourself through the different applications that we have. But there's this issue of coding and programming. Coding and programming is growing globally, as well as robotics. Robotics are also growing globally, and it's something that we have not been actually taking advantage as young people, especially here in Bulawayo and Zimbabwe. So in the different skill sets that we are giving young people, especially under Youth for Innovation Trust, we are also trying to make sure that maybe girls can also learn how to code or how to program different applications within the digital space so that they can make the most of the little that they have. So the digital space is vast. And as an individual, you can actually choose your niche and say that even if I am passionate about that or located in this particular space, there is that one thing that I can still do, but within the digital or tech space as well.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
I noticed that you said technology space / digital space. What's the difference there?
Well, technology is vast. It's wide. And the digital space can also be part of that technological space.
Yes.
So the space in which technology exists can include a whole lot of other disciplines as well.
Okay.
Yeah, aside from just the digital space. It can include robotics. I mentioned robotics briefly earlier on. So robotics, I'm just getting an interest in robotics lately because people are complaining on WhatsApp that the robots are taking our jobs. And I'm saying, why can't we be building the different robots to do different jobs that we feel like people are complaining they are being taken away from them. So it's vast, it's wide, and the digital space is also there within the broader technological space.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what qualifications should one acquire if they want to be in the technology space?
Well, I think number one needs to have the passion. One needs to actually forget about the box, because we're always talking about thinking out of the box, but maybe the box is not there, or maybe it's a pyramid or something. Just think about something completely different. So I personally, I have degrees in peace and conflict as well as development studies.
Okay.
But I also did my IT diploma back in 2009. But then, because I have love for technology, and I'm thinking how best can I bring technology into the space, peace and development that I am currently in? How can I be an activist but still use digital media and all those other technological platforms to actually pursue whatever I'm pursuing within that space? So technology, it revolves. We are always learning. Umuntu wafunda IT ngo 2009 khathesi kumele abe busy efunda, because it's vastly improving, it's vastly increasing food, because right now as it is, it's making money for almost the whole world. Ungakhangela the big companies of Google, etc. They are actually technology companies. So yeah, it's necessary to always keep learning. Yeah, you can get your IT degree, diploma, etc. But you can't just create from nowhere. Your creation has to be grounded somewhere. In the teaching that I was saying earlier on, I train people in technology. I have that social change aspect at the back of my head. Technology ayizimelanga emoyeni, but it should be giving back to the community, which is where my profession is. But it being a tech space, you always seek to learn. Even if you diploma lakho le-IT or degree le-IT, but there are new online courses that are coming up every day. And currently, I'm actually learning virtualization, which is something very interesting, also within the digital space. But that I might not go to college again to just learn, because kuba lama diverse disciplines within the field of technology that might interest you with time.
What opportunities are there in the tech space, both for women and males?
There are a lot of opportunities that await everyone, especially in the technology space. I mentioned briefly Ishiyama robotics and how robotics are coming up, and we can't shun away from technology. There are technology as a corner that might take over. But Tina, as a people, how do we actually try and maneuver and make sure we strategically position ourselves within this tech industry? Okay, currently almost everyone is a smartphone. And we have a lot of applications that we are using. So some of the opportunities that await is on my applications. But I'm here to say, yes, we have Digital Zimbabwe, but can it be the only company that is assembling a phone for our people? Those are other opportunities that await us. But I'm sure almost everyone has undorindori lying around engine, angamkhupha this part to make something else that is actually indigenous. So especially for us, people go Bulawayo and the other regions around the country, there's a lot of opportunities that await us. But a problem from that broader perspective. We look at Google, we look at Facebook, we look at WhatsApp, instead of looking at how we can actually try and influence how things change through technology. Currently, as it is, we have this halabaloo that has been happening around applications, like for the nursing jobs, the teaching jobs. We're trying to digitalize as a nation, but no one is really coming up with an innovation that can make that process easier for everyone. So those are some of the challenges that we are facing that we should identify as opportunities and actually try to infuse the technovation with technology to be a part of that space.
What are some of the challenges that women face in the technology space?
There's a lot of challenges. You mentioned it as you were introducing the show that it's actually male-dominated. There was a time when I was working at a technology complex in Harare, e-learning center. I was one of the very few women who were actually doing something technical within that space. You'd find out most women who are there, they want to be in technology, but they are just maybe secretaries. So that was a huge complex with a lot of different technology organizations or institutions, etc. within, from Abayenza networks, etc. But you'd find very few women, who were less than 20% by the time when I was working there, which is a long time ago. And very few of us were actually holding on to the tech aspect. But then amanye challenges abakhona ukuthi maybe women think it's time consuming, because being in technology doesn't necessarily mean ukuthi you are just sitting behind your phone, behind your computer 24/7 and not doing anything else.
Yes.
Especially women with businesses, they could use technology a lot, especially to get their systems in order and actually to keep our databases and everything else. But they don't really necessarily set aside time. I just want to sit down and actually place my issues in order within this gadget that I currently have, that I currently am using. So it's kind of a bit of a challenge. Of course, we are also considering gender roles.
Okay.
At times it's easier if you are updating anything that you're updating on your phone. But if it's a woman, maybe she's chatting with her daughter, or everyone always wants the woman's attention. So that's where the issue and aspect of time comes in. There are quite a number of challenges. It having been male dominated, it has meant that penetrating that space is not actually easy. Even if you bring in your intervention, it has to pass through a lot of bars. Will it work?
Okay.
I'm always giving this example. If your phone dies right now, Dumu, would you bring it to Thando to fix?
I think I'll think twice before
you think twice before bringing it to me. So a problem is within us, it's also within our community, and it's also within this glass ceiling that is there, and within the different institutions as allow. The policies are actually not really yet fully allowing the woman to fully utilize the technology.
Okay. So as Youth for Innovation Trust, what have you done to bridge that gap?
As Youth for Innovation, we have quite a number of programs that we are currently running. Yes. One of them that's close to my heart a lot, it's called the GIG Approach to Sustainable Development. And through the GIG Approach to Sustainable Development, we have a few other borrowed and indigenous programs as well.
Okay.
So part of the borrowed programs that we have is the Technovation Challenge. Okay. So the Technovation Challenge is teaching girls between the ages of 10 and 18 to code for social change. So every year they make mobile applications that will try and change something within their communities.
Okay.
We also have basic digital skills training for the different members of our organization that we have.
Okay.
So in the different digital skills training, you find that we have female artists. They need specific training if they are to utilize the digital space.
Okay.
We have maybe activists, we have media specialists. They need certain digital skills in their different spaces. And we also have a project that we call Itaungana STEM Expo. It's now currently called the Taungana Movement. Mm-hmm. So Itaungana Movement, we are doing it in collaboration with a whole lot of other partner or sister organizations that we are working with. So for Taungana, we actually identify girls in rural schools around Zimbabwe, and we try to introduce technology to them. So this is us trying to bridge that gap. There are groups of people that have been disadvantaged before, and even now abantwana besikolo bangachayisa, you'd see boys going to play ama PlayStation or using technology here and there, but the girls are actually not there yet.
Oh, okay.
So the way we have been raising girls is still not there yet. I don't know what girls do after school, but I don't see them at internet cafes, bedlalama games.
Right.
So trying to make sure that our girls now appreciate technology, it actually bridges that gap.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, why would you encourage women to consider roles in the tech space?
Well, the technology is running the world. Whether we like it or not, technology is running the world.
Okay.
So it's encouraged for everyone, especially women. Because if you see those growing companies and they are still growing with men, it means ukuthi ama-gender gaps are still widening. For us to close those gender gaps, we're always talking about preaching gender equality, what. But as long as we don't find women where money is, and currently money is in technology, as long as we don't find women there, we're not doing anything. Lowasiva lama party, yabo mama, etc. What, trying to preach confidence. As long as they are not where the money is, we're not doing anything. So we should promote women ukuthi babe ku technology, so that we actually try and get the world that we want to see, where everyone can be their best selves.
Yes, and I think it's one of, especially the digital space, is one of the easiest industries to venture into, because almost everyone's got access to a phone. So it's one of the easiest industries to get into.
And almost everyone wants to invest in something technological these days.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And it makes your life even easier.
It does.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I know that a lot of women have faced abuse when it comes to online. What do you think is the solution to this problem?
Well, cyberbullying is real.
Okay.
Yeah, cyberbullying is real. And cyberbullying, I feel like the space that we live in offline is the space. It's the emotions, it's the expressions, it's the experiences that we also take to the online space.
Okay.
Which is why at times I really love talking to people about social stuff, about mental health, about how we are as a people, about peace. Because as long as we are peaceful out here, then in the online space we might be peaceful as well. Okay. Currently, as it is, Zimbabwe is going through a lot of problems, a lot of crises, a lot of issues, and I am angry. Whether ngikaduzupko kumbe ngihleli ngaphi, I am angry. And the moment I get Twitter, I'll vent.
Okay.
So we should try and fix some of these. Development, as we are seeing it in the 21st century, it should be holistic. Okay. We can't think really having an ICT policy will fix bullying online space.
Okay.
It won't fix it. It might regulate it here and there, which is okay, but we really need to look at development holistically and try to fix our spaces offline before we take our emotions online.
Okay.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's who you are as a person. Okay, I understand. Are there any women who are in the tech space that you admire, and why?
There's quite a number.
Okay.
There's quite a number. There's Vicky and Janet Kahari here in Bulawayo. They've been leading the Computer Society for quite some time.
Okay.
And they're actually some of the people who have actually held my hand and told me, Thando, next week there is Africa Code Week. Make sure your girls are there.
Okay.
So they inspire, I admire them.
Yes.
And there's also Rumbim Lambo
Okay.
and Aretha Mare. They are the founders of Tech Women Zimbabwe.
All right.
And they're actually doing very great things in the field of technology. I know Rumbi is at UZ.
Okay.
And Aretha is also at Impact Hub. And they're actually inspiring from afar, trying to make sure that Zimbabwe grows when it comes to women and technology.
All right.
Yeah.
And internationally, are there any women?
Well, internationally, they are the tech women themselves. So we might be having the international tech women coming to Zimbabwe very soon.
All right.
Yeah, watch out for that in this month of November. Okay. So it's a group of women who have said that they are tech women.
Okay.
And they've cascaded this tech women agenda across the different parts of the world.
All right.
Yeah.
From our interview, you have raised so many concerns about girls being in the tech space, and they should be in the tech space. What words would you have, or what words of encouragement do you have for women in?
Encouragement for men in the tech industry
that want to be in the tech space, or to our viewers who are listening?
It's not a walk in the park.
Okay.
But as much as it is not a walk in the park, it's It's interesting, it's exciting, and at times it's just sitting down and watching a YouTube tutorial on how to do A, B, C, D. So you don't necessarily have to be buying every tech consumable that you need. At times it's about learning, and it's also about stepping out of your comfort zone. I might be very comfortable going on WhatsApp and chatting in my women's only WhatsApp group where we're just talking about, I wouldn't know, all those things that we talk about on some of those women's groups. But it's also exciting as a young woman if we are to go to those groups and actually talk about JavaScript, or actually talk about HTML or something else. It would be exciting as well. It would be different, it would be new. So it will be stepping out of this comfort zone that we are in. So I would encourage everyone. It's not really for the people who are into technology or civil society, etc. Even the housewife can actually utilize technology fully and actually make their lives easier, because it's just about making your life easier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
As you mentioned that technology is forever evolving, I think that also constant research is very important to always keep updated with the technology space.
It's ever changing.
It's ever changing.
It's ever changing. So there's always an update for a particular app that you are using. There are always new things to learn, and there are always new things that you're thinking about that you can also apply into this digital space and actually come up with something new, something interesting, something that says you, or something that says Bulawai.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Youth for Innovation Trust, are there any new projects that we should be looking forward to in the future?
Yeah, well, in this month of November, look forward for digital skills training for female artists.
Okay.
Well, it's for young artists, but we are really encouraging the female artists to be part of it as well. Okay. Because if you look at Bulawayo, we know our male artists. I might mention a few, or Kelvin, Omsis, K, etc. They're out there, they're in the online space, but we have female artists. As well, I might search for her on Facebook, a personal account, a page, etc. We just want them to have the basic knowledge. I can also market myself, I can also brand myself online. Yeah, so we are doing digital skills training for different groups of people who are part of our membership, but also those who are not really part of our membership can also come in and join.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. So, and also the Technovation Challenge season is coming forth. So registration has opened. So if you have young sisters, or if you're a young girl between the ages of 10 and 18, register for a Technovation Challenge. Right. So it's making mobile applications for social change. So the season is starting now. So schools, girls, or anyone else who might be interested in those can just come through and register for that one.
All right. So for those that may be interested in being members, or that may be interested in your projects, where may they find you guys? Okay, so we are found at Forestry Commission Building, just opposite to Central Police, first floor, East Wing. And on all social media, Facebook, we are Youth for Innovation. Instagram, we are Youth for Innovation. Twitter, we are at Youth for Innov. Yeah, and everywhere else, we are just Youth for Innovation Trust. All right, and
we
your
have a website, www.youthforinnovation.com. And you can email us, programs@youthforinnovation.com.
All right. Thank you so much, Thando, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
I do hope that you have learned something new today from Thando. Do join us again for another exciting episode of She Runs It Meetups.